cool. So yeah, okay. So before we begin, right? Can you guys please tell me why why you guys wanting to join or you are forcing to join Cambodia room? Can anyone share, please?
Can I speak first? Sorry. Uh, because I actually very, uh, very, I don't know why in Indonesia the Cambodia coverage is not that much for in our news, but Singapore and Malaysia we talk about a lot about them, but in Cambodia is I don't think there is so much coverage on pandemic stories there. So I'm curious about how the pandemic is going in Cambodia.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. Maybe can we have one more sharing?
Yeah. So may I share?
Yeah, sure, sure.
So I don't really have a very specific reason, but like the person before me said, I haven't really gotten the chance to, know much about Cambodia, and for some reason, I was attracted to this breakout room. I don't know the
Oh,
exact
thank
reason,
you. Thank you
but
so much.
yeah, I look forward to hearing to all of your perspectives as well.
Oh, okay. Oh my God, I'm feeling very pressure right now. Yep. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining Cambodia as well. I will try my best to deliver you guys the information about COVID-19 and how Cambodia taking the precaution to tackle the issue as well and how youth actually contribute to the COVID-19 as well. So, yeah. So, some expectation, right? Sometimes I tend to speak too fast. But don't worry, if I speak too fast or it's not clear, you can unmute yourself and then you can stop me anytime you want. Okay? Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you so much and let's enjoy the show. Yep, so hello there. My name is Jane Jerome Chitra. Is my real name. Or if you had to pronounce my Khmer names, you can call me Jerome as well. And I am currently the country director or the MCP of ICE in Cambodia. And my major is finance and accountancy, graduated as well. So yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited for this as well. And actually, I'm also nervous a little bit as well because again, like when we are talking about COVID, right, it's always subjective. It's always something to come up with, and it's always a challenge and always consistently changing as well. So yeah, thank you so much. And some of the expectation as well. I think just like what you guys have mentioned earlier, right? Cambodia is the country that is still developing and how we are actually taking the action to tackle the COVID-19 is not much different from other countries as well. And I would say if it is not one of the slowest, but also it might be one of the slowest country to actually tackle the COVID-19 issue as well. Yeah. And this is the topic that I want to discuss today. The first one is when it is started, COVID-19 in Cambodia, and when is the timeline that actually we identify this is like the world emergency, the global emergency that we need to take action immediately as well, and how the government and how the youth in Cambodia support each other to support this COVID-19 as well. So these are the main three topics that I want to discuss today. When it started, protocol to fight COVID-19 initiated by our government and how youth contribute to the COVID-19 itself as well. So let's start with when it is started in Cambodia as well. So this is the timeline basically. So I think as you already know, COVID-19 was initially started in 2019 in December or in November in some of the country. But however, in Cambodia, right, we only acknowledge it as a global pandemic and a global emergency in February in 2020 as well. I think during that time as well, how Cambodia tackle the issue is very simple. We just like announce that and we just encourage people to wearing mask, stay home, lockdown if you are not need to go anywhere. Make sure that you are having alcohol to sanitize your hand very often. Stay safe and stay healthy as well. and some of the event or the gathering also not encouraged to host as well. So for example, like in Cambodia, we have our traditions. We usually have a lot of gathering. So for example, if you are getting married, you also need to host a big gathering to invite your relative, family, friend to the wedding. Or for example, like if someone passed away, we also need to host a gathering to send the dead person away as well. And those are the things that our government decided to pause it currently, and to not host it anymore if they are not allowed to do as well. And then in November 2020, that is when COVID-19 actually becoming a big thing in Cambodia. That is when the first cases that is happening in Cambodia as well. And usually from February until November, we do not have the cases that actually happening in Cambodia. Most of the cases actually imported from other countries through flight through our neighboring country and stuff. For example, like our country, Cambodia, we are border with Thailand, Vietnam. Those are the cases that usually happening around our border, but there's no case in Phnom Penh city or in our city yet. Until February, that is when the second wave is happening, and that is when COVID-19 become very serious in Cambodia as well. I think that was because of, like, so for example, if anyone coming traveling from other country coming to Cambodia or to any other country, they need to be quarantined, right? But however, there was a case that the patient was bribing the security guard to let her go out of the quarantine places to go to club, to go to bar. I think she bribed around like $2,000 USD to let her to go to club. And that is when the first the biggest cases happening, and community cases starting happening in Cambodia as well. And that is when our government decided to take high precaution in Cambodia as well. So basically a lot of places shutting down, a lot of universities start shutting down again, also a lot of business shutting down again. And of course during the time, right, young person, they are also rebel, because like how their life used to live before also changing as well. And until today, right, actually, to be honest with you guys, from February until May, the COVID-19 cases keep on increasing, at least like 600 cases every day in Cambodia. And that is a huge number. And as you already know, in Cambodia, we do not have enough facility or enough location or have enough medical knowledge or high skill doctor to actually taking care of the patient as well. That is when the biggest crisis happened in Cambodia, from February 2021 until May today as well. So yeah, so basically this is a timeline that that COVID-19 has been attacked Cambodia since the beginning as well. And okay, so right now I would like to share to you guys what are the steps that is taken by the government to fight COVID-19 during this is the biggest crisis happening in Cambodia. So the first one is about the uses of technology. So even though Cambodia is not the country where technology is a big thing for us, but we are trying our best to ensure that a lot of young person, a lot of elderly, they get access to the technology, have the access to understand what is COVID-19 happening right now and what is the situation in Cambodia right now. And then move on to area of restriction. So this is one of the SOP or the protocol that our government decided to lock down some of the area that is having high risk of infection of COVID-19 as well. And then vaccination. So for this one is also something that I want to talk about, because vaccination is something that a lot of young person in Cambodia come up together to support the government to tackle the issue and to ensure that people are getting access to the vaccination as well. And then the expansion of quarantine area. So due to the high number of increased rate of COVID-19 cases, that is why our government decided to expand our quarantine area to ensure that a lot of patients have the place to quarantine and to stay safe as well. And then it's about the education to all profile of people, elderly, children, students, and stuff. So these are the main topic that I'm going to discuss to you, that I want to share to you guys about Cambodia as well. And also some of the expectation as well, right? during this creation process, I'm trying to talk to a lot of people, talk a lot with experts as well to understand what are the things that, what are the unique things that Cambodia have been taking on to ensure that we are fighting COVID-19 successfully and effective as well. Okay. So yeah, hopefully I'm not talking too fast. I'm sure I'm talking too fast. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. So as you can see, there's a lot of word inside there, but don't worry. I will will try to keep it short and simple and as sweet as possible. Yeah. Okay. So the first one is about the use of technology, right? So this is, I would say, one of the good point that our government have been implementing so far. So every day, right? I think around 6 p.m. every evening, there will be like a official letter or the official document that is shared by our government to raise the awareness of the COVID situation in Cambodia and the number of cases happening in Cambodia as well. And usually the cases, the report usually have the number of new cases, the number of deaths, and the number of recovery as well. And I would say those are the things that help us, a young person and the whole people in Cambodia, to understand and to be more aware of the situation as well, and to take more precaution as well. And also when okay, so usually when there is a case happen, our government, they very fast in taking action to collect the patient to quarantine places as well. I would say that also one of the good things that is happening in Cambodia as well. So for example, like if they know that some of the location have got affected, there will be like a emergency how should I say it? Emergency car from the hospital to take you or take the patient from their home to the quarantine place immediately. So that would be one of the good thing as well. And when okay, so okay, the funny part is that, so whenever people or the neighbor near the home that affected, when they see the hospital car or emergency ambulance car, they always feeling worried and they feeling scared as well, and they always post on social media, right? And that is how they also spread the information of the location that is also getting affected by the COVID-19 as well. And also updating the divided area community based on the level of affected number of cases with different protocol in each of the area to take action as well. So this is also related to the area of restriction that I'm going to talk later. So usually when the COVID hit hard in Phnom Penh city, the government decided to like lock down some of the area in Cambodia, in Phnom Penh city, right? And how they do it is like they spread the information through their social media. For example, so I'm staying one of my area of location is at Choi Jongwa. So they also put the place names and the number of affected, and they mark it as how can I say, the colors or uh, the level of affected, so people easily understand and people easily follow the protocol as well. And also like using of technology as well. This is something really new to Cambodia as well, because like food delivery service was not big in Cambodia, and people not very comfortable in using technology to order food online as well. They prefer to having food at the place that they first cook it or the restaurant, so it's much easier for them. But when the usage of technology come up and COVID-19 as well, the government have decided to support a lot of the delivery service to ensure that the people are staying home, staying safe, and not going to restaurant or together at restaurant would affect the risk of infection as well. And then I would say one of the things that happen in Cambodia as well is that every restaurant or every places in Cambodia, they are starting to implement the QR code. So for example, like if you are going to a supermarket or go to a mall, they will ask you to send the QR code. And the QR code will be play a role that, okay, so if you are, if this place that you've been before affected COVID-19, you will be alerted and you will be asked to stay home, and then the ambulance or the emergency car will come to pick you up to the quarantine immediately. And if the place that they find out that is also affected as well, they will shut down immediately. So this is, I would say, something that our government trying to implement, and a lot of people are trying to engage as well. And also as you know, like during COVID-19 as well, there's going to be a lot of fake news, a lot of fake report as well. And one of the things that our government taking action as well is that they really fast in terms of finding the source of the fake information, and then they will go and arrest the people who share fake information or fake news immediately. Okay, thank you. And the next part is about the area of restriction. So this is we do it because we want to reduce the risk of infection as well. So just like I mentioned earlier, there is a lockdown on all cross provinces and city of transportation. So usually when COVID-19 happen, or the cases or the explosion of COVID-19 usually happening few days before our national holidays, and that is when raising a lot of concern, a lot of worry toward the citizen as well, because like during every holidays or okay, okay, so when can I start again, or is it?
I think we might have to wait a little bit till some new people join.
Okay, thank you. May I know how many round of rotation that delegate need to participate?
It's just two, so there will be 2 15-minute sessions. So yeah.
Okay. Okay, I think I understand now. Is that okay?
Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay, nice. So hello people, welcome to Cambodia. I'm very excited. I'm like looking forward to share the story with you as well. So yep, so as you can see, my name is Chatra, or you can call me Jerome. I am the country director of AIESEC in Cambodia, and my major is finance and accountancy as well. And for this space, I'm going to talk about three main topics, which is about when COVID-19 started in Cambodia, and what are the protocol that our government and what are youth going to take on to take call this issue as well. But for this time, I'm going to talk more about youth contribution in COVID-19 instead of the government, because again, since we do not have much time, so I'm going to cut out some of the government part, and I will share it in the youth part instead. Okay, cool. So when COVID-19 in 2020, that is when us as a Cambodian and our government alert and acknowledge that this is the emergency cases globally, and we should need to take action immediately. So most of the shop store business are shutting down and on pause as well in February, and we actually resume again in April 2020. But again, like during November 2020, that is also when the first cases that is in the community starting to boom out in Cambodia, and that is also one of the starting point where our government decided to take serious precaution until February 2021. That is when the second wave happened, and it was bigger than ever as well. And that was happened because of one of the patient and in the quarantine area, they bribed the security guard around 4,000 K to let her out of the quarantine area to go to bar, to go to club, and that is when the second wave, the biggest wave, happening in Cambodia as well. And until today, May 2021, that is still the cases that a lot of area in Cambodia are shutting down, youth are staying home, work from home and study from home as well. And that is basically the timeline that is happening in Cambodia and regarding to COVID-19 as well. But my question and the thing that I want to talk to you as well is that what are you doing during this period of time? What are the contribution that youth take on to support the government to tackle the issue, and how youth actually support in spreading information to people as well? Okay. Okay, some of that expectation as well. In case I'm speaking too fast, you can always stop me anytime. You can unmute or raise your hand, and you can tell me, hey, slow down, please. You're speaking too fast and I don't understand a thing. Please feel free to do so. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so let's begin with the challenge that actually that Cambodia facing, and I'm sure this is not only happening in Cambodia, but a lot of countries as well. So the first challenge that also I think Sisita, the president of ASEC in Sri Lanka, mentioned as well is about the lifestyle changing of every young person and every people in Cambodia and the world as well. And the next one is about a work and sustainability issue. So basically, even though like the government decided to shut down all the place, a lot of business as well, but imagine like if you are the employee in that company, like the worker of that company, where are you going to find your income and how are you going to pay your rent? How are you going to pay your other utility and stuff? And that is also raising the concern as well. And the next part is about the food and daily supply. So for this part, right, I think it's also affect to all of us. So if a lot of restaurants shut down or the company shut down, where am I going to find money to pay for my rent, pay for my food, and pay for my daily supply as well? And next is the disbelief in COVID-19 virus. So in Cambodia, I would say we are one of the country that is believe a lot of other stuff such as like we don't believe that COVID-19 is a thing. We believe that COVID-19 was made up by the government to restrict the people, to control the people and stuff. That also what we believe in Cambodia as well. And some people that they are not educated, they still believe that COVID-19 is not a thing. And next is about the education and how can we ensure that a lot of people understand about COVID-19 as well. Okay, and I'm going to talk about how youth actually taking action to support the government in terms of uses of technology, support the people that in area of restriction where they are not allowed to go to work and stuff, about vaccination as well. How can youth using their voice to support the government to buy more vaccination and allow more people to get access to vaccination as well. And expansion of quarantine area, and last but not least is about the education. Okay, so about youth action, right? So the first part is youth also play a very important role in supporting government and spreading out the information about the COVID-19 toward others people through our social media. So whenever that the government they post about COVID-19 information or the document about COVID-19, youth always share the information in the social media throughout the Facebook account, throughout the Instagram story and stuff. And I would say one of the good things that I see in Cambodia as well is that when COVID when vaccination was a thing, right? When it's become a thing, a lot of organization and a lot of young person as well, they come up together to create a campaign where they are like starting a donation campaign where they collect money by themselves to support the government to buy more vaccination. Since the vaccination is also limited as well, right? And even though the vaccinate first, they are only prioritized to elderly or to the area that have high risk of infection. They decided to provide the government with their own money as a donation to buy a mass amount of vaccination to support the government to ensure that a lot of young person and a lot of elderly able to get access to vaccination in despite their profile, despite their age, despite their work as well. And also like since a lot of lockdown area happening, a lot of organization as well and young person as well, they come out together to create a donation campaign again to raise money to support the family or the people that in the quarantine area that they do not have enough money to support themselves during the 2 months of quarantine, to buy supply, to buy food for them, and to buy rice and sometimes buy egg for them as well. And one thing that I see is also good thing that youth also implement as well is that they're using their voice to identify the smuggler or the shop or the store that sees the opportunity but increase the price of their food or their supply. So they would earn more money and they report it to the government. And the government decided to take immediate action to stop the store or to erase the people that try to smuggle. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much and enjoy the rest of the event as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
사랑해요.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks so much.